Hey, my name is James Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about should you be buying properties in cash? What are the benefits, particularly in the current climate? Now, this channel is all about my investment journey. I'm building my portfolio out this year, but I want to invite you along on the journey while I build my portfolio for my two daughters. Georgia, who's 21. We've already got two deals. We've got one in Doncaster, a house. We've done a refurb. We bought that at auction. You can see how that all went on this channel. And we've just bought a flat in Dorking in Surrey in a block where we already owned one, or I owned one in that block already. And we're also building a portfolio for my little baby, Amelie. So how can you join us on the journey? Easy. Take that finger of power, spin it around, guys, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell notification. You see, there's never a better time to learn about property. You've all been waiting for prices to drop. Now might be that time. So, cash. Should you be buying properties for cash? It's a great question. It's a very, very good question. Now, I'll talk through a deal where I've just done that. So, Georgia, my eldest daughter, we bought a property cash at auction in Doncaster. And so, house prices on the street where we bought, some were 80 grand, ones in good condition were 100 grand. So a property came up in the auction and we were really keen on getting going. And so we decided that we didn't have time to get a bridging loan in place, which is a way you can buy from auction. You can check some videos out on the channel about that if you want to know. But what we did do is we said, you know what, we're going to go and we're going to bid for this property in Doncaster. So we bid in the auction and the price ended up being £60,000. Obviously, you've got stamp duty and legal fees on top of that. And so we bought that property, and the reason you're looking at buying with cash in this scenario is speed. You see, when you buy from an auction, you've got about 4 weeks to get that transaction completed. And even if you're buying cash, there's still quite a lot to do, right? You've got to get stuff sorted with solicitors. There's various different things that need to happen in order to be able to buy cash. It's not that you can just transfer the money the next day and it's all done, right? So it's still like a 4-week process at least. Maybe you can get it a little quicker, but generally you'd say 4 weeks, right? So we bought that property cash, and that meant that we're mortgage free on that property. And then some people think that that's what you should do, right, is just get a property and be mortgage free, which sounds wonderful, right? And the goal for a lot of my personal friends that have their own residential properties is they want to be mortgage free. And I get that, right? Because you want that security, you want to own the asset. And as you get older, your income, maybe they're business owners or employees, is going to reduce, right? And so they want to make sure that the costs are reduced by the time they retire. So that makes sense, right? But when you're an investor, it's not the smartest thing to just leave your money in there, right? So we bought in Doncaster for £60,000 and we had to spend £12,000 doing it up. Legal fees and stamp duty and stuff was around £3,000, right? So we're into that deal. Can you read my numbers? £75,000, right? And so we're in that deal for £75,000. That's come out of my pocket cash. So I've been a cash buyer, but I've also spent cash on legals and stamp duties and stuff like that. And I've spent cash on my refurbishment, which came to around £75,000. Now, we want to then buy somewhere else because this property here produces £575 a month in rent, right? £575, right? Which is pretty good. So I don't know, terrible at maths. What is that? £6,000, something like that a year? Maybe a little bit more that we get in rent, which is pretty good, right? That's a pretty good return on our investment there. But I want to leverage that money, and I want to use that to get other properties. And we've just bought in Dorking, right? So we wanted to buy another property here in Dorking. So what we did, we went to a mortgage broker and we said we want to refinance that property, right? And so then now they put a mortgage on. So a valuer came round and said, great job. I think your house is now worth £100,000. Thank you very much. Now on a buy-to-let mortgage, they will lend you 75% of that £100,000, meaning they gave me £75,000. Now, that's magical, isn't it? Because I've got all of my money back out. Now, that doesn't happen every single time, guys. Trust me. It's not something that will happen every time. But maybe sometimes you'll leave 5,000 in there or 10,000. But it's still better than leaving all of your money in there or a huge deposit. So effectively, we have got that house for free, right? Because we put 75 grand in. We've now got a 75 grand mortgage on it, which we've got our money back. And we've artificially created a £25,000 in equity in that property, which is the deposit that we would have needed to pay if we bought it done up, right? So we've got the house effectively for nothing. Now, an opportunity came up. So an opportunity came up for me. I already own a flat in Dorking. I lived there many, many years ago. Bought it more than 10 years ago now. Big, big, big flat that I already own in a block. And in that block, I was having difficulties with other freeholders, right? They'd been really, really difficult through COVID and really frustrated me. And I didn't really have a say on anything that happened in the block. They weren't getting stuff done. They weren't giving me copies of insurance, leaving me out of stuff. And it was really, really getting petty. Now, there's 4 flats in that block. And one of the guys that, honestly, I thought was a knob, hopefully he watches this. I didn't like the guy at all. Was selling, right? And so I saw it on Rightmove. I said to the agent, look, I don't like this guy. He doesn't like me. I just don't think he's going to sell to me. And they said, let's try it. Let's put an offer forward. We put an offer forward. In fact, he was selling for 250. He had offers at 250, right? But he took my offer, even though he doesn't like me, at 235. Why would he do that? Comment below, let me know. And if you got this far in the video, give me a quick like as well, guys. Why would he take 235 over 250? Because the people that were buying at 250 were in a chain. They didn't have their mortgage ready, right? Speed wins in property. Speed wins. And that's why speed helped me with this property here, because I had to buy it fast at an auction. But speed wins. So I've taken this money out here, which is pretty much all the deposit needed for that property there. I now have, with one pot, £335,000 worth of properties that every 10 years on average are going to double in value, right? They're going to double in value if all goes well. And so that's why I'll buy cash, but then I'll take any money I can get out. Now, let's have a look at this with some simple numbers here. So if you had £100,000, you've got an option. You could buy one house for £100,000, and in 10 years from now, that price should double. On average, this happens, not in every town, don't forget, and the market will go up and the market will go down. But on average, historically, for more than 1,000 years, house prices have doubled, right? In fact, why don't you let me know in the comments, what did you buy your house for, or your parents bought your house for, or your grandparents bought the house for? If you know any of that data, comment below and let me know, guys. I'd love to know. Now, 100 grand, if you buy cash, you can now have £200,000 worth of assets potentially in 10 years. Now, that is going to pay you out rent as well. So you'll have earned a ton of rent off that as well. Next, what if I took a deposit of 25 grand and put it into this one property, 25 grand here, 25 grand, we fit one in there, and I bought 4 houses. Now my 100 grand is getting leveraged. So in 10 years from now, I could now have £800,000 worth of properties. £800,000 worth of properties, which is insane, right? Now in 20 years, this first property would be worth £400,000. These properties here are going to be worth 400, 400. Right, so that's 1.6 million pounds of properties in 20 years. And so being a cash buyer is good for a number of reasons. Speed, right? This will help you get cheap deals because some people in the market want certainty, and the fact that you're going to complete very fast gives them that because maybe they're in a chain or they want to use that money for something else. So speed is a benefit of cash. However, don't leave your cash in those deals. Pull it back out with a refinance and go again and again and again. Now, some deals, you might not get all of your money out, right? I can't guarantee you're going to get all your money out. You might get down values, but you might leave some of your money in. But so what? What if you left 5 grand in a deal or 10 grand in a deal? It's still cheaper than this 25 grand here as your deposit. And that is how you leverage money, and that's how you get really, really successful as a property investor. Now, at the moment, I know some of you are going to say interest rates are going through the roof. What is this guy talking about? Well, look, you can fix for 5 years. Interest rates are still very cheap. Deals still work. Prices are coming down. All of this stuff will still mean that buy-to-lets work, and you can do very, very well from this. Now, other things that you can do is other strategies as well. You could buy a property and rent it out on, as a serviced accommodation. And then you might get, rather than £1,000 a month rent, you might get £4,000 a month rent, right? Obviously, you'll have costs of cleaning and stuff like that, but it's not going to be 3,000, is it? And so that could be one way that you could do it. Or you could rent the property out on a room-by-room basis like student accommodation, but as an HMO to professionals, and make significantly more rent that way, which would mean you'd have even more cash flow, which will be very, very good for you. Now, look, I'm going to be teaching all of this stuff in London, and I'd like to invite you to join me in London and come and find out about property investing and how you can make your net worth grow. So in the description of this video is a link. Put your details in there. You'll get emailed all the details of the live event where you can come meet us and really take your investment to the next level. So do that now. Do like the video before you go off and watch something else. Make sure you click that link so you've got it. You can fill it in. And do check out the other videos on the channel. I had someone comment the other day, has he really bought properties for his daughter? Well, yeah, they're on the channel. You can see those on there. If you want to follow my Instagram as well, that's in there. You can see pictures of me with my daughter at the properties with the keys, right? Everything we do, we're trying to be transparent here and help you guys to learn some stuff along the way. Do check out all my other videos on the channel, including this one right here. Thanks for watching. See you soon.